Well, these people are all rallying around one cause. They're celebrating hope for the future at ending an often disabling disease. Multiple sclerosis affects the nervous system, the central nervous system. The progress, severity, and specific symptoms are different, though, from person to person.
Yeah, only a couple of decades ago, the disease was untreatable, but now there are at least 13 therapies for the most common forms of MS, which is why more research is so important. And joining us now from the National MS Society is Rob Malter. We also have Robin, I want to make sure I say her last name right, Turdenwald.
Correct.
Joining us to chat about how the community can come together through Walk MS events. Great to have both of you here.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Robin, let's just talk a little bit about your personal story. When were you diagnosed?
In April of 1994, I started with a condition called optic neuritis in my right eye. And after seeing an ophthalmologist, he said if you go to a medical dictionary, the third line in says it's a precursor to MS. I had my first exacerbation in November of 97, so I was diagnosed around that time, 97, 98.
And what did you notice? What types of symptoms or?
General weakness on my left side, and I started walking with a cane after I broke my left foot. Then I went to a walker. Then after I broke my right foot, I was in the wheelchair.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Is that a typical story? I've heard a lot of people say that they find out they have MS because of something with their eyes.
that is correct. It is very common. And that is one of the major symptoms. The first red flag that should go up is if it's almost like having a doily over your eyes, so you're kind of looking through a prism, whatever. So yes, that would be a telltale sign.
How have you seen things change? I mean, from 1994, 1997 to now, in terms of really giving people with MS hope for the future?
You know, the MS Society spends the most of any patient center on research. And since 1994 and 97, we've had 13 therapies out there to help. I have done shots and pills and whatever. So all the time they're trying to perfect or at least get closer to the cure. So I would say that we're on a rapid pace, that maybe I would see a cure in my lifetime. So.
That's great.
That's great to hear. You know, we hear a lot that MS is very common in the Midwest, and that vitamin D may be a link, and we're not really sure kind of how profound of a link that is. Is there some information about why this is the location that is such a high incident?
Proximity to the equator, vitamin D, like you said, and it's basically a Scandinavian-based disease. So our heritage and our history in Wisconsin and Minnesota as well, we have some of the highest incident rates in the whole country. Over 10,000 people just here in this state have this disease, and like Robin said, it's confusing. You don't understand it. I talked to somebody the other day that it took them 3 years to be diagnosed and understand where it came from. So, unfortunately, the winter has been brutal, and it just how much sun we don't get is a factor in MS and people having it.
MS too is unusual in, I think, oftentimes the time in a person's life when it's diagnosed is often the prime of their lives.
And it usually is at a stress-related kind of incident. So most people get this disease between the ages of 20 and 50, but I had a very stressful time in my life in November of 97. I think that has a tendency to bring it on quicker.
Yeah.
What are things that we can do? I know you've got Walk MS, and that's something that if people take a part of, it really does help fund this research.
It does, and like Robin said, we do these events to raise money and to raise funds, and 80 cents of every dollar we raise goes to MS research, which is a huge number. Not many patient groups and charities and causes do that. So people can get involved just by walking, just by taking part in an event. And we've got a bunch of walks coming up in the spring and the fall, and right here in the metro area.
And I think it's wonderful that there isn't just one event, one day. I mean, this is something that's happening in a lot of different communities over the course of several days and weeks.
And it's cool too, because you'll have an event in La Crosse one day, and next in Kenosha Racine, and then here in Robin's Walk in Emily Falls, and May 3rd, May 4th, we're in Milwaukee. So anywhere in this state, you can walk. And from La Crosse to Platteville to Kenosha Racine, all the way up through Green Bay and here in Milwaukee. So, and on the same day, on the same weekends with friends, families. And we'd love you to do the tour, but if you just do one that's close to your house, that's pretty cool too.
Is there anything people can do who have not been diagnosed, or they know in their family it's there genetically, to prevent or help prevent it?
I don't think there really is a way to prevent it. I think that the therapies that are out there will help slow the progression, but I think if you're destined to get it, you're probably going to get it. But there's a really good website. We have a wonderful staff out in Heartland, and the website is wisms.org. So even if you didn't want to walk, you could go there and you could contribute, make a difference. I always talk to Rob and say, in business, they talk about living outside or working outside your box. And I live my life trying to be outside of the chair, so no grass grows under my feet, so that's good.
Wonderful.
Cool.
It's wonderful. What's the word on how far away we are from a cure?
No real timetable, but like Robin said, just in the last, 10 years, there's been huge advances that have gone on. So researchers are very, very excited. I mean, we had a conference in November of our national leaders and just people that are making a huge difference. And people said within 10 years we could be making another great step. So some really cool research that's going on and great things that are happening. And it's all because people like Robin and people like you guys letting us come on the show that just walk, they ride a bike, they ride a snowmobile. Here in Wisconsin, we have an event that does that, to walking 50 miles in Door County. It's all about just raising funds to maybe find that researcher. Your $10 could go to finding the cure, which is pretty cool. It's pretty inspirational to think that couple bucks you give us could lead to a cure one day.
Yeah,
awesome.
There's a lot we can do. We want to make sure everybody's got some of the dates coming up so they can join Walk MS. April 27th in Kenosha and Racine, May 3rd, Cedarburg, Menominee Falls, and Oconomowoc, and then May 4th right here in Milwaukee. Join Walk MS and help find a cure as well. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you
you.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
No problem.